What's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 3. Well, that's actually 6 of the Jacques Morel Show. Shout out to everybody that's been tuning in on the YouTube page. We have 24 views on the first one and 24 views on the second one. So that's consistency. Technically, it was 24 views over 12 days on the first one, but 24 views over 5 days on the second one. So technically, we have more viewers than we did before. And long story short, I'm just hoping that I can keep this going because for everyone that's watching this on the YouTube page, like the truest of the real ones, drop a W if you like this so far. Also, like and subscribe if you enjoy what you're getting. I am doing this at the wit's end of my ADHD and trying to juggle this while also juggling just life and trying to make sure that I'm making enough money to survive. So all those things are going fine, but the fact that I'm like 3 weeks into this, I'm cutting up the clips, I'm posting the clips on Instagram, on YouTube, and TikTok. It's going to start to grow, and there's gonna be more people coming to the YouTube that are gonna be watching these moments, right? Like the moments where I'm just kind of talking with myself. And also, as I learn and continue to improve on this mode of communication, something that people are really good at, but something that even as I'm talking to you right now, I've gotten a lot better at. Less ums, less you knows, less filler words, and I'm able to just kind of communicate clearly. Because the point of this is for me to have my own means of communication. I'm trying to seize the means of production. And in seizing the means of production, I'm able to deliver my voice unfiltered to all of the real ones, all the people that are watching. Because there have been people that have been following me for almost a decade, and I haven't truly honed in on and locked in on a one place, one show consistently where they could watch me. And this is that here. So I am so happy that y'all are watching, and I'm so happy that y'all are engaging. And if you're watching this on YouTube, trust me, it's only going to go up from here. Hopefully there will be 100 episodes, but at the moment we have 3, and we're going to make it as good as we possibly can. So what is on the docket for today? On the docket, we're talking about 3 topics. We're talking about Dave's The Boy Who Played the Harp, which is an absolutely fantastic album. And as you'll hear me discuss, I think it's probably my favorite album of the year. I know Jeremy Heck said it was his favorite, but he didn't say it was the best. But personally, for me, I think the two of them can be intertwined. That's neither here nor there. We'll get into my reasons for why in a second. And then also after that, we'll talk about Justin Bieber taking to Twitch. I wanted to talk about Bieber jumping on Twitch largely because I rate Bieber very highly as an artist, as a musician. But I also just was wondering how this plays into the idea of celebrity mystery and how Bieber is kind of shedding that in order to kind of show us a side of him that he doesn't really show us previously, and how that's played into other things that have happened to him over the past year, and also how he's dealing with his religion, and even this really interesting clip, which you'll see, I'm going to hopefully be able to intertwine it, but I'll definitely talk about it, which is from the live stream where he talks about being jealous of someone else, which is absolutely insane. And the final topic today, we're going to be talking about AI slop, largely because a musician was signed to a $3 million deal for an AI artist, which was absolutely insane. And because my homegirl, Charlotte Alter, she's been talking about this often, and other people I know have been discussing this, but I personally believe that if you use AI for anything that is creative and that isn't like a super Google or that isn't something to kind of organize your notes, then I am hard judging you. We're going to let that sit there. We'll get into that in a little bit, but I'm just letting y'all know if you're using AI to make flyers, album covers, to write essays for you, to create images, if you're using AI for anything creative, like I wrote a script out for this show. And I've been researching and working on this show for 3 days. I didn't use AI for those portions, but I did use AI to help me find articles, to help me find where to be a super Google, because AI is good for that. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. We'll talk about that in the future. Well, not in the future, but in a little bit. Anyways, also we're going to have like a mailbag. So I'm going to put it right here. Shoot me an email. It's going to be my personal email, which I will eventually take out, but you could put it right here. Any questions, comments, or concern, it's hey@jacquesmorel.com. I would love to hear what y'all have to say. Also, I'm gonna be talking to some comments. I know there was somebody in the comments, I don't have it right now, but that was watching this while they ate. Thank you so much. They watched it on their lunch break. Thank you for dedicating your lunch break to me. You don't know how much that makes me, how good that makes me feel. All right, let's get into it. First on the docket today is Dave's The Boy Who Played the Harp. I'm going to be upfront and say that I do not listen to that much Dave. And generally, I have a blind spot to when it comes to music from across the pond, hip hop mostly. I, of course, am into the occasional gigs and Skepta. And I was really into Skepta's project with Fred Alone this year. I loved it. I actually saved a couple songs on it, especially the Black Boy Max version and when he actually rapped to it. And I think Skepta has one of my favorite voices in hip hop generally. But and also, let's not forget, I also thought that Central C had one of the best albums of this year. But overall, in general, I do not listen to that much UK rap. And I'm going to fully admit that that is a blind spot. And I also think that is a blind spot that is carried by a lot of other American purveyors, other American people that are really into hip hop generally. We are American through and through. Basically, we are listening and we are mostly focused on what is in front of our noses and not necessarily what is at our ears. And at our ears is French rap, is Spanish rap, right? Think of how many people, don't really dive into Bad Bunny. Now, there's a difference between French and Spanish rap because I don't speak French, although my name is Jacques and I very much should. And I don't speak Spanish, but I do know people that do speak Spanish are saying that Bad Bunny, Anuel, Raul Alejandro are spitting on these tracks. But English rap, which is in English, we should be more into. We should definitely listen to more, and in some ways should be even bigger. Central C's crossover is a massive deal because Central C is a big artist over there, and he was able to become a big artist here. But the fact that there is a blind spot, and the fact that I have one, and speaks to one, my ignorance, I'm going to be completely honest with you, and two, just the American-centric way of listening to music, which is a very common thing. So it's just not me. But I do know some of the classics. I know Kano's P's and Q's, classic song, and other bigger touchstones of music. And of course, I watch Top Boy. Yeah, I know Top Boy isn't the end all be all to to English rap or the English street scene. And if there are any other entries, please leave them in the comments. But I love Top Boy, so some food. You want some food in it? Yeah. Yeah, I loved Top Boy. Dave's The Boy Who Played the Harp is one of those blocks of work that just bubbles beneath the surface and demands attention. Like the whole weekend I had people hitting me up. And please keep hitting me up. Please keep suggesting music for me, telling me to listen to this project, telling me that I need to stop what I'm doing and listen to Dave. Sean in my group chat told me I needed to listen to Dave. Miles left a comment on my video last week saying, just said, Dave, the boy who played the harp. That's all it said. Jeremy Hecht going on his Instagram story, just screaming at the rafters, saying that this album is incredible, saying everything I need to do, stop what I'm doing and listen to it. So I did. And for the last 3 days, I have been wrapped up in a world of deep introspective thought, deep introspective lyrics. The Boy Who Played the Harp is such an expansive, wondrous album. It's only 10 songs. And apparently it's Dave's first album in 4 years. Now, I did not listen to Psychodrama, and I did not listen to We Are All in This Alone Together before getting to this project. Like I'm telling you before, like I said before, I have a blind spot when it comes to UK rap. I definitely do. And after listening to this album, I went and re-listened to those projects, and I am sitting here like, what have I been doing? I have totally been sleeping. So feel free to come at me any way y'all want, but I have been sleeping on the boy Dave. I really have been sleeping on the boy Dave, but I'm telling you right now, my back is straight, my ears are perked, and I am locked in because it is fantastic. Now, on the album, he talks about growing up in South London, survivor's guilt, a woman's plight walking through the streets at night, familial trauma. It's a very heady project. He alludes also to his brother, who's currently serving a really long prison sentence for something called joint enterprise, which Sean, explained to me. It's kind of like a RICO, but it's not. I don't want to explain it fully here because I don't have the full texture of what it is, but I know it's banned currently right now, but his brother is in jail and also kind of dealing with the fact that he's the one that made him. He's from Streatham, Straight. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be butchering all of these towns and Yorkshires, but he's from Streatham in South London. I love South London, by the way. I spent a lot of time in Brixton, spent a lot of time in Peckham. Love those places, right? But it's a project that demands to be at the center of your ears and listen to loudly and honestly proudly. Because I've been seeing people just putting in lyrics all weekend from the favorite verses on the album, and it's honestly beautiful. One of my favorite songs on the project is My 27th Birthday. Now, this is the latest. He has a birthday series. He did Our 24th Birthday with Central C, and he's done other birthday songs because him and Central C have birth dates that are like near each other. On 25th birthday, I think it was. So he's done other birthday songs. It's kind of like Drake's timestamp records in a way, right? But My 27th Birthday, there's this rap marathon meme they posted, and I'm really curious about rap marathon and how much money they have coming in, because some of the stuff that they post is always so out of like, oh, someone definitely is paying you for this, but neither here nor there. They have this meme where it's like, listening to My 27th Birthday made me really rethink my whole life. And the 27th birthday is generally thought of as the date that musicians tend to pass away, right? Jim Morrison from The Doors, Janis Joplin, who else? Oh my God, what's her name? She's British. Amy Winehouse. Like, people don't make it past the 27th birthday. So this one was like a really big one. This is honestly one of my favorite songs on the album. He has like this bar right here. Been afraid of getting older, scared of being left behind. And then I question, will I live my life and resent? Is anybody ever going to take my kindness for strength? And that last bar really, really hits home. It's not about being a nice guy, right? It's not about being a nice guy. It's about doing right by people and hoping right is done by you. But when you do right by people and right isn't done by you, people don't necessarily often see that the fact that you were able to continue to do right by them is a type of strength in itself. And I feel like what Dave is talking about here, it's like, the fact that does the fact that I'm turning the other cheek not show you how strong my neck is? Not show you that I have a strong chin, that I can take a punch, because I've decided to turn the other cheek instead of giving you the one that you hit, in a way. And when I listened to that, when it first hit me, it hit me with a sack of bricks. And I'm going to pretty much lay out a couple other bars on this album that did the same exact thing. Hit me like a sack of bricks, right? Or this on History, he talks about coming from South London and how he almost has like a survivor's guilt for making it out alive. Like I mentioned before, his brother is in jail, when so many people like him didn't make it. Like, but my favorite bar has to be this flex right here. It's a flex, but it's one of my favorites right here. It's like, I can't wish my ex the best. She would end up with me. That made me laugh. That made me laugh. That made me laugh. Although I do wish all of my exes the best. I hope they're doing all right. But that did make me laugh, right? And then this one here later on, right? He says, I never seen a man late to his own funeral, but I done seen a man show up early to one. I don't know if Dave's the first person to say something with that sentiment, right? You know, I can't be late to my own funeral. I think there was a rapper from Detroit, or somebody let me know in the comments. There's a rapper who dropped a project about being late to their own funeral. That's a common thing that people have talked about, right? But to flip it on its head and saying, I've never been late to my own funeral, but I know somebody that has showed up early to one. That comes from somebody that has been to far too many funerals for young people. I mean, we've all been to funerals of people that pass away too early, right? And the idea, it's like, no, technically, we're all supposed to get to our funerals on time in our 80s, our 90s, right? But if you get there before that, why are you showing up early? You know, it really makes you think. And then in 175 months, another fantastic track, another track that I really love. He raps about a conversation with God, right? And apparently also 175 months also is how long his brother has currently been locked away, which is actually a really cool Easter egg that I found on Genius. Shout outs to Genius. Shout outs to the alma mater. And he mentions how long it's been since he spoke to God, something that a lot of lay Christians like me, myself, and others kind of go through, and how it makes them feel generally, like, right? It's this bar right here. It's like, I'm in church, more worried about the service on my phone. Like, it's like these clever, unique, introspective turns of phrase that really make you kind of lock in and hone in on what Dave is trying to say. Like he's sitting there at church wondering how long it could be until he can get to his phone when he should be focused on the service itself. I mean, even I, to get a little personal with it, even I haven't really been to church in a long time. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't really go to church like I should anymore. And I probably am spending time on my phone when I should be in service. Instead of, I'm using the wrong service essentially. He raps about the contradiction of saying pray for the Congo when he has blood diamonds on his neck. And that's true. It's like, how can we say pray for the Congo on our devices, right? That are using rare earth minerals that are from the Congo that is being exploited, right? It's kind of like this idea that there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. There's no ethical consumption of this. And thinking about it now, my two favorite songs are the aforementioned 27th Birthday and Fairchild. 27th Birthday, as I was quoting before, the second verse is one of the best verses I've heard all year. And I think this whole portion toward the end of it, where he's asking simply how can he explain various situations that he's in, where he's like, I mean, how do I explain I don't want to heal because my identity is pain? Like, let that sit. Like, how do I explain I don't want to heal because my identity is pain? How do I explain that sometimes it feels better to wallow in my sadness? Sometimes it feels better to wallow in my darkness, that I don't want to open the blinds. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to get care for what you're feeling, right? Like, let me know if I'm crazy, but I just feel like that one bar, sometimes a rap line hits you so hard. Sometimes a lyric in general hits you so hard that it makes you really think about your life and who you are. And this is one of those bars. This is very much one of those bars. And this other one right here, right? 27 and I'm terrified of living by myself because there's a kid inside myself I haven't healed and me and him debate each other. Or the way the verse ends, it's like, it hurts, but I'm still moving. Feel like it's me versus me and I'm still losing. It feels like it's me versus me and I'm still losing. It's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror. It's like, why can't I win? Truly a masterful project. You know, or also his song with Kano, where they're kind of going back and forth against each other. No Weapons is really good. And also, I want to talk about Fairchild. Fairchild with a fantastic verse from Nicole Black. On Fairchild, Dave talks about the conundrum or kind of like the contradiction. I feel like a lot of this type of street poetry, you know, like this is a street poet, like kind of like someone that is speaking truth to the power of being the voice of the voiceless. A lot of like the street poetry comes from a place of waxing poetic on the contradictions that you play into in your own waking life. And here Dave is talking about is like, how can he be someone that speaks up for women when he is also taking part in the things that lead women to be assaulted? He talks about having women going to no phone parties, but all the men have phones, but all the women don't have phones, right? Or like he has this other line here, right, where he says, I ain't saying, he's like, I ain't saying that's weird, but it kind of is. She busy throwing up. He's trying to take it to the crib, but that's the culture of the club, right? All games fair. He's basically cowed into silence by the toxic masculinity that's telling him that you should not be speaking up. You shouldn't be helping her out. He also raps from the point of view of the man doing these crazy things, saying like, you're not her dad, right? And it doesn't make it any better. It doesn't make it any better. Like, but I think it speaks to an awareness, which I think matters heavily here. Or right here. And also, the verse from Nicole Black it gives me chills. It really gave me chills, and it was really hard to listen to by how lucidly she tells a story of a man following her on the street and attempting to sexually assault her, right? It says, I ran and I tripped, I fell and I buckle, my belt in a buckle, my keys in my knuckles. He's grabbing my hair, I'm screaming to stop. I'm hitting him hard, it's turning him on. The burning is gone, my body is so cold and frozen in fear. Accepting my fate, his hands on my waist. I think that I threw my keys in his face. I ran and he chased. And then later on, she talks about how she found some people on the street and she didn't realize her foot was bleeding. And then she ends up calling Dave because he's the only person that would be up at 3 a.m. because Dave is recording. Fairchild is it's a deep song. And then the final, I've been waxing poetic for a while on this, but it's a really good album. And the final song where it's on The Boy Who Played the Harp, right? I really think that, like, the title track, I really think that Dave crafted a masterful project here. And with only 10 songs, he was able to convey something so special, so beautiful, and so rich, so rich. Like, honestly, Dave, bravo. Bravo. I love it. Love it. 10 out of 10. I'm going to say it's 10 out of 10. I mean, maybe there could be a little more tunes to vibe with. This song with Thames is cool, but I think it's so good. And Dave's The Boy Who Played the Harp really has me thinking that this has been a great year for hip hop. And anyone that is telling you that it hasn't been isn't listening to the music, right? Just off the top of my head, you got the Dave Project. You have Clips' Let God Short Him Out. JID's God Loves Ugly. God Doesn't Like Ugly. We have Nas's album on the way with DJ Premier. Central C had a great album at the top of the year. Mobb Deep dropped a fire album. Raekwon dropped a pretty good album. Wasn't amazing, but it was pretty good. Jay Electronica dropped. Freddie Gibbs' Alfredo 2 is so good. What I'm trying to tell y'all, if you don't think that if you don't think rap hasn't been on fire this year, you are clearly not listening, because the projects have been, Joey Badass had a great album. The projects have been fantastic. You just got to pay attention. There's a lot of good rap for everybody. And this summer was great. Just saying. All right, switching gears, we're talking about Justin Bieber jumping on Twitch. An interesting topic, largely because Bieber is known as one of the most he's a celebrity that is omnipresent, but that is also incredibly private. And I think the fact that he is jumping on Twitch speaks to the fact that, one, that the bills need to be paid, and two, that he is butting up against the limits of what today's marketing is about. Today's marketing is you have to be everywhere. And unless you are fine with being, like, not a niche level artist, but an artist in between the layers that isn't like A+++, but isn't also a B-list, like Bieber is trying to promote Coachella. He has 6 months to promote it. It's going to be in April, and he's going to headline it. Him announcing that he's headlining it, and it means that he needs to be out there. And he dropped Swag 1, he dropped Swag 2. Both of those were surprise drops. I liked Swag 1. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, some people thought it was a little staid, but I was into it. I mean, I listened to it for a weekend. I thought it was pretty cool. Now, it was very influenced by 90s R&B and MKG. I'm definitely saying his name wrong. And a lot of the interludes just weren't great. Like, if we're keeping it a buck, a lot of the interludes weren't great. They were okay. But overall, I thought it was a really good project. And I thought it was a project that shows that Bieber is kind of evolving and that he's trying to move further and further away from, like, his pop zenith, which coincidentally this month and next month marks 10-year anniversary of one of my favorite Justin Bieber albums, Purpose, which had Where Are You Now, which had What Do You Mean, which had Company, which had Sorry, one of my favorite songs ever. Sorry is one of my favorite songs ever. I mean, I'm sure he's probably sick of it, but that song is such a good pop song. And I feel like in the 10 years since that, how Bieber has effectively been overextended and overexposed. He's married, he has a kid, he's incredibly religious, he's going through all these issues. There are rumors about drug problems, To see him on Twitch kind of speaks to a certain level of growth, but like a level of acquiescence, if that makes sense. To see Bieber on Twitch feels like he's acquiescing to the fact that, like I said earlier, let me know if I'm crazy, but like that there is a limit to being a mysterious pop star. And that if you want to be able to sustain the 400,000 albums a week, and you're not Taylor Swift, because Taylor Swift just went on a mega tour. Taylor Swift doesn't need to be on Twitch, but she's omnipresent. She's always there. She's on social media. It feels like this is the only way Bieber has to do it. And I watched the stream. The stream was cool. It wasn't amazing, but it was cool. It was like him in a giant warehouse. And I'm talking about the first stream. And I know there were other streams. And if you're watching this, there may be other streams that came after this. So don't, come at me saying that I'm wrong here or I'm missing something. But from where I stand today on October 28th at 5:42 p.m., I'm saying I watched a stream where Bieber was in the warehouse playing ping pong, playing pool, playing horse with his friends. It was almost like a motley crew, a lot of black people, to be quite honest, but that's neither here nor there. His motley crew of friends, and I thought it was really nice. I thought it was cool. Bieber, he looked like, I don't know, he just looked kind of dazed. Like he just looked like he was there, but he also wasn't there. There was a portion where he took the camera and walked around with it and got to show like the behind the scenes. And there we were able to kind of see a little more personality in there. And it was also nice hearing him hum and harmonize generally. I was really into that. But overall, it just feels like it's going to take him some time to get used to this. It's going to take him some time to be a good streamer in like a serious way. And that's okay. Like if anything, that should be expected. But I really believe that Biebs is trying something new because of the pressures of fame and the pressures of what fame is in 2025, because it's not what it was in 2015, where Bieber, who was pushed by a major label system, and he still currently is. You mean to tell me that there weren't people at Def Jam or wherever he signed that wasn't also behind pushing him to be on Twitch? I'm sure that was the case, but he's butting up against at the limitations of what promotion is today. And if I'm Bieber, I would hate it, but I'd also understand that if I'm trying to make some money, if I'm trying to cash some checks, if I'm trying to be as big as I could be, especially before my Coachella performance, which everyone is going to be looking forward to, I have to do this. And personally, I wonder, and let me know what you think in the comments. Will he even show up? Up next in the docket is AI. And I'm going to say this up front and out. It's going to be in the clip. But if you're using AI for anything that is creative, I am hard judging you. I'm judging your Studio Ghibli videos. I'm judging your Sora creations. I'm judging you so hard you have no idea. Because I feel like, why would you give over the thing that makes you human, your creativity, to a machine? It's not authentic. It's not clever. And it is only making you less creative. There are some people that are going to say, well, Jacques, it's a tool. And I'm like, yes, AI is in fact a tool, but it's a tool when you use it as a super Google. It's a tool when you use it as an editor. I'm not mad at you writing something and then putting it into an AI and it's like, hey, can you point out any grammatical mistakes? Or can you maybe tighten this up a little bit, right? But the point is, don't have it write it for you. You feel me? You need to be able to keep your own essence. And I'm saying, if you write essays, letters, Instagram story captions, photographs, album covers, no matter what it is, I'm judging you. Let me know what y'all think. Drop 3 W's if you agree, but I'm judging you, okay? And like I said before, I understand people are going to say it's a tool, it's a way for AI to, help us, but you have to use it as a tool, not as the end all be all, okay? But if you're using AI to outsource your creativity, I'm judging you, and rightfully so. And like I mentioned before, this new app Sora is already causing more problems than we actually already need. It was used to create a video of Martin Luther King effectively screaming at the pulpit, or this other video of black women screaming at tellers where they can't use their food stamps. And the thing is, the stuff is really accurate. It's really good. That's the worst part about it. It is really good. I'm already seeing people upload their likeness into Sora and then using it to make videos of themselves. And then they're using those videos to post them on the internet, because at the end of the day, volume is what it's about. I'm making this YouTube video and I'm going to cut it into about 8 clips, 10 clips, because that's what it's all about. And people are trying to get volume at the expense of their own true essence. And it's disgusting. It's icky. It's gross. It's absolutely gross. And the issue is, we all don't live in a shared truth, because what we need to teach is media literacy. But we're not going to teach that, because if there was a shared truth, if there was a shared set of facts, right, we would be able to understand how we are being played. It's easier for me to identify AI videos, but my mom probably won't be able to. Gen Z, especially on the younger side, probably won't be able to. Gen Alpha, my nieces, they won't be able to. They won't be able to. They won't have no clue. Because when it comes down to it, this is what their shared set of facts is. I was I dance. I'm a bar mitzvah dancer for anybody that knows, but I'm a bar mitzvah dancer. And I was looking over the shoulder at some kid on TikTok, right? They do it. They always get into a group they get into a group and they huddle around their phones. It's a thing, common thing, whatever. And they're scrolling on TikTok, and in the videos that they were scrolling, it was mind blowing to me at how much AI is already in their feeds, pictures, videos, like how much AI is already in their feeds, and they don't think anything of it. And I'm sure they must look at me as unk, like how could you even care this much about it? But I'm like sitting there, I'm like, yo, don't y'all see how detrimental this is? Like, don't y'all understand what this is doing to you? Don't you understand like how bad this is for you? And I don't think they necessarily care, but I think it's something that like, as I watch them engage with it, like really sticks out to me. And in the music space, which is more of my wheelhouse, there have been a number of high profile signings of artists that are artists that are effectively avatars for their creators. So there's this one person, Zania Monet. I don't care if I'm pronouncing it right because it's an AI avatar, not a human being, so I can give a shit how the name is pronounced. But they have 3 million monthly listeners on Spotify, and they signed a $3 million deal. Isn't that mind-blowing? Now, the actual artist is Tanisha Nikki Jones from Mississippi, and I went to her Facebook page, and she's the person who's been writing these lyrics and singing them, use this app called Suno in order to like make the lyrics and make the albums come true, make the songs come true. And it exposed that like at the end of the day, people don't necessarily care, which is like, I think one of the saddest parts about like this whole AI nonsense is that like people don't care. People just want to listen to their music. People just want to like feel connections with something. Like they don't really care like that it's fake. And even going through her Facebook page, there are other people that are trying to do what she's doing, right? There's this other person that I saw, right, that has like AI with Kai, and he has 2 artists, Malik Royce and Portray, right? And these are 2 artists that are making slop music. Or someone else saying like, oh my God, how do you get them to speak so clearly? Like people are obviously looking at this as a come up, and I don't blame them. Like if you could sit there and get a $3 million deal off of something that didn't take you any time at all, then why the hell not? You go in and do it. But something that that Andre G, he writes a Rolling Stone. I also subscribe to his newsletter. He's one of those people, whenever his newsletter drops my inbox, it's a must watch for me, a must read for me. When you do this, you lose the part of what makes you actually good at being an artist, the grit. Learning how to make it work. If you're a rapper and you're making AI rap, you never have to learn how to ride a beat because the AI will do it for you. So it's going to sound great off the jump. But if you never learn how to ride a beat, then how will you learn how to create your own flow? How will you learn how to manipulate your flow? Like, let me know if I'm crazy, but I feel like anyone using AI to create music, I'm talking that isn't like actually learning how to make music on their own without the help of AI, personally, I feel like you're corny and I'm judging you. And the other thing about AI that is generally so sad, right, is that it's used to manipulate music, like hip hop specifically, and turn it into different genres. So the 50 Cent, right? Someone changed his album Get Wealthy or Perish Trying, and they made it like 1950s jazz, type vibes, right? And 50 loved it, right? He did an interview with Jordan Rose, who's a very, very good interviewer, I might add, very capable. He did an interview with Jordan Rose with Complex, and Jordan even pushed back against it, saying like, really, why would you like this? And 50, of course, 50 is just about making a buck. 50 sees everything as a means to an end, right? But what it does is it kind of scrapes the grit off of hip hop and it puts it in a more palatable way. And 50 said that maybe there are some people that didn't get the lyric when I was spitting it, but they'll understand it more when it's coming through this realm. And in some ways I understand that, but it also makes me feel sad because it's like, why do you want to hear your music bastardized so much, right? Like, why would you want to hear your music bastardized like that? And look, that's neither here nor there, right? But I really feel like generally it's not a good thing. And it reminds me of when Bad Bunny had a similar thing happen to his music, right? And he like lyrics of his like went viral. It was an AI voice went viral on TikTok, and he lashed out and he pretty much said, "Look, if you enjoy the track," and he says, "you don't deserve to be my friends." Like that's someone who cares about their music. I'm sure 50 Cent cares about his music, and 50 Cent will probably watch this. He won't watch this, but I'm sure he doesn't. I'm sure he cares about his music. But I really believe anybody that truly cares about the soul of what they're doing won't use AI. And if you care about your soul and if you care about your creative soul, then you won't use AI either. And not only will you not use it, you will judge the people that do. Anyways, that's all for me. Thanks for watching episode 3 of the Jacques Morel Show. This is a much longer one than the previous ones I've been doing, which is a good thing, right? I think so. The audio is going to be a little, thanks for watching. It's your boy Jacques. Follow, like, and subscribe. You know the vibes. And I hope to hear from y'all soon, all right? Peace.